Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Scalpel and Stem swag quest. Today, we're going to do something I've seen on the internet where people put pings on these cute little sponges. Now, full disclosure, I attempted it before. All right, and these are how they turned out. They're really small, and I figure my biggest problem was that I didn't create little holes in the sponge for them. So we're going to try a couple of more sponges today, and we're going to put holes in them, and we'll see if that works out a little bit better than my first attempt. Although I didn't record my first attempt, it was literally me just soaking one of these sponges until they're nice and wet, and then putting the pings on top. So today we're going to try it a little bit different. Let me make my hand. We're just going to make... I think I'm just going to make a couple little holes here. That'll create little divots for them to sit in a little better. Now, one thing I have learned with my other sponge is you need to make sure that even though these are sitting in water, you want to water the top. I don't see the top retaining a ton of moisture, and since pings do like water to be in their carnivore phase, I would recommend watering from the top. Okay, so I think we're going to do one of pirouettes, and I'm going to make one on each flower. One on each little of these flowers. I haven't figured out like something that makes it easy, like a quick pinch or something. So all I'm really doing is just digging a hole and then cutting out a little bit right there. Tiny hole. I don't want it to be too big because the pings that we're using today are going to be super tiny. And I will show them to you in just a minute. They are ping pirouette. We did get them not too long. We've had pirouette for a while, but we do have some babies around now. So 2 more spots, and then I'm actually going to put a bigger one in the center. What I did here in the center is I took the center to a different sponge. I have a yellow sponge. They came in a big old pack, so I have all the colors now. And since I didn't really want my ping that I'm putting in the center to fall through or just be like hanging there, I figured we could go ahead and put this sponge to help give it a little support and also hopefully some more access to water. It's difficult to water pings from the top because they can get crown rot, so you don't want to pour water into the center of the pings. You're going to try and avoid them and kind of just pour water onto the sponge, and the sponge will absorb it. So there we go. We have our 5 little spots. Next up, we're going to take this adorable tray of pings. These are little itty bitties right here, and we're going to put the smaller ones in the little holes that I made. And this is like the biggest one right here. So he's probably going to go in the center. I did prepare another little dish. I am using RO water, reverse osmosis water. You only want to use reverse osmosis distilled or rainwater because pings are sensitive to nutrients in their water. All right, so I'm just cleaning off a little of the dirt. You don't want to get too aggressive because the pings will lose everything and just like fall apart. I actually dropped that one in, not ideal. I dropped that one in a little bit, so she's a little dirty. Not ideal. Let's try the other one and see if we can do a little better. All right, and this one I think we'll put in here. And I'm trying to force the root system down into those tiny little holes that I made, hoping that will allow it to grow into the sponge and anchor and look real beautiful like the ones that you see. We did a lava rock not too awful long ago, and that turned out really nicely. She's a little sad since the move. The moss was not properly maintained. I may actually change that out, but I should put an update on my social medias. So again, I'm just taking this base right here, squishing it down into the little hole I made. And maybe a little on top to give it a little security. But the thing about pings, and especially pings and sundews, is they have a tendency to stick to whatever they can. This one's a little floppy. There we go. Their leaves will stick to whatever you've got going around. So they will look a little bit messy after your repot, but that's okay. Again, I'm just dipping them in clean water and pushing them down into the holes. Trying to make sure, oh, I just punched through a leaf. Try not to do that. The more damage you cause to them, the harder it will be for them to adjust, but they'll be fine as long as you're not too savage. Because pings have a very delicate crown, the part that will rot if you water from the top, they have a tendency to fall apart if you're too mean to them. So go gently. We have a lot of extra pings around here because of the tissue culture. These all come from tissue culture. We do have more of these in the lab, but we will definitely offer up some jars. We do have a couple of jars that are packed full of pings for these little ping gardens that we are making now. So if anybody's interested in tissue culture pings, let us know. All right, so here it is. We are going to go with this for now, and I will update you periodically. Thanks for watching, everybody.